Hey, Fan, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining me in this tarot reading. This is going to be for all signs. No worries. Let's see what kind of encouraging message you can use right about now. I'm going to begin with the archetypes. Already pre-shuffled, so we'll cut the decks together. The Nectar. I have like a wisp of a memory of this card, and I'm pretty sure it's good. The medicine, the elixir, the garden. In Hindu mythology, there is a miraculous substance known as Amrit. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in my pronunciation. For anything, I would rather not be ignorant. Or nectar that contains infinite healing power. This golden nectar, or sacred elixir, is the drink of immortality and, like its sister substance, soma, is known to activate subtle intelligent forces that ease the mind, body, and spirit. Though esoteric, these images lead us to the central energy of this archetype, the sweet, potent, heavenly essence that lubricates our spirit back to life. The Nectar card calls us to identify and relish in places, practices, people, and activities that regenerate and heal. Medicine is needed, and it comes in subtle form that you may be overlooking. Seek the most sensuous, fragrant flower in the garden you have forgotten. Don't underestimate this remedy. It is said when someone has activated this substance within, it is reflected in their shimmering eyes. Sense the nectar within you, dripping from the crown of the head and soothing the brain. Let it drip down the spine like sweet honey. The Nectar, the Mystic, and Aletheia cards are linked. It is the mystic who, like Krishna, turns poison into nectar, and it is truth that can often serve as a potent elixir for healing. When light glowing, relaxed, subtle illumination. When dark, fixation on fixing, aggressive approach to healing. Alrighty then. As always, it's all based on perspective and what we choose to do with the energy, right? Moving on to the oracle cards. Okay. Normally this card speaks of not a recommendation to be an escapist. It's more of a calling out on those who live through daydreams rather than reality. Those who are giving into their hyper-focus and losing track of time. This is a call to return to your life now that you've been able to tap into the nectar within. It's not that you don't like things that you've liked in life. It's not that previous coping mechanisms aren't comfortable anymore. Sometimes that's the problem, but they don't help the way they used to. It's because you're not the same. Boy howdy, thank goodness. You've evolved and you continue. So should we all. That is every human being's truest right and privilege, to being alive. Everyone wants to escape their lives occasionally. Some of us like to binge watch shows. Some of us like to listen to music. Some of us like to read. And some of us like to leave it all behind and go on vacation. All of that is totally healthy. Our lives can get incredibly stressful. However, too much escapism can mean that you're not confronting a big problem, which isn't healthy for you. Face it head on and let the pieces fall wherever they may. We may notice that the way certain characters behave in TV shows affect us, how certain things that we really enjoyed kind of make us feisty, for lack of better words, rather than it being something that we can relax with, right? Our bodies don't react to food quite the same way, which could just be, going through the years of all of our cells changing. Cells, not selves. I mean, both. Why not? Why not both? But you know what I mean? Like your body you end up with allergies that you didn't have before, right? For example, in possibilities, our bodies change and evolve and grow. We age, hopefully, because with age can come wisdom. It can, right? And do you know what time it is? It's clarification time. Man, my voice is not doing the voice right now. It's a very interesting time indeed. What is the story to be told with the tarot cards this round? Chapter 1. This person is dressed in white. Their bed sheets are white, but their quilt has, maybe roses on it. Quilts take unless by a machine, take time to make. You don't just throw things. I mean, you can throw things together. Surprise. For some, it isn't that you haven't been seeing confirmations. It isn't that you think these choices you've been making while changing and transforming your life, you know that they're for the better. You know that you're growing and healing, and life is going to be completely different. And while it can heal us and help, it can also be scary because it's the unknown, right? It's one of the themes going around. But this is everything that we've been looking forward to, working toward. We need to let go of the idea of perfectionism once and for all. Let go of expectations. Stop judging ourselves before fate and karma and the universe even has a dang chance. Is that it? If we do it to ourselves first, and then we can suffer, and we can, put ourselves through our own torment because we know how to do it best, right? And then we can come out the other side. Then maybe we'll be worthy. You're already worthy. You don't need to torture yourself. You don't need to feel uncomfortable in the dark. For some of us, that's the slippery slope, right? We become comfortable. We learn how to survive in it. We forget that the light is within us. Always has been, always will be. Enough so that others have tried to take it from us. These swords are up on the wall, fam. They can represent freedom or torment. Bars on the windows. This is a dark night of the soul that simply isn't necessary because you know better. You know what you're doing. You know what you've experienced. And you know how to handle things accordingly. So what exactly are you worried about? What's at the root of that? Because if you're being true to yourself, then anyone thinking you're a fraud is just false. They're wrong. And why would anyone consider you a fraud? Really, science needs failures so that it can learn what not to do. It can learn what to do. It's all lessons. Let them be learned once and for all. These things that you've been worried about, hiding from, trying to learn better and beyond. Accept that you're capable. What's chapter 2? Learn the balance between not only want and need, but energy. That whole give and take. Like we have this person balancing on one foot, and we have ships in the background that we can notice that their job, they got quite the job cut out for them today. But we can also notice that they're handling it. Balance. If your ship can't withstand storms, where exactly are you expecting to travel? Where are we going? Big or small? Capable. All these swords, they need to have balance. At least before they were used, right? Got a little dinged up. Chapter 3. Boosh. Wisdom. Trust your wisdom. It's okay to trust your wisdom. I always like to think of this lately, these two white strips that are coming down from either side of their head, as the blindfold removed from oneself. Almost like certain initiations that we hear about, right? That you may be led through blindfolded. And how a theory on the Winchester Manor, for one thing, actually being a series of self-initiation. Starting at the front gate at the sidewalk. You don't speak just to hear your voice. Maybe you're worried about opposition and things not working out because you're used to things not working out. But you know how to enable things to work out now. You know what to do. At the very least, you are able to trust in yourself. And leaving those fears behind because balance has been restored. And you can live your life. And whatever you're watching, whatever input you're taking in, can be a part of your healing journey and your evolution. Chapter 4. Reconnecting with your passion. Because now you have the courage and the drive to be able to do it and do what's right for you. Sometimes, make sure that the ADHD isn't, running the show, though. Some of us are free range, and that's scary sometimes, okay? We need a system. And if you're like me, then you're ADHD, and it's a freaking party. Balance. When I learned that I have so much in my astrological chart in Libra, I'm still amused by that, because that's something that has always been very important to me. Balance. Fair is fair. I don't always expect fair to be in my favor. Fair is fair. I'm more about the balance. And the more I learn, and the more I grow and accept myself, the more I realize how important it truly is. It's okay to plan, just like it's okay to be spontaneous, because either way, you know what to do. You don't have to live in daydreams anymore. You can live them, because you know balance, how to control yourself, how to have that drive and courage to be your unique self, to create in the way your everything has always wanted to. Even if it's a variety of ways. Why not? Why not? There's so much on this earth to experience and explore. Even if some think it's cheesy to speak in such a way. I don't know, what's going to come up underneath the 9 of Swords? The 7 of Swords. See, this person isn't walking away in the middle of the night, under the cover of darkness. They know exactly what they're doing. Whatever perspective you may have on this card, they know exactly what they're doing. I'm feeling this vibe of getting out of Dodge. Technically, it did come after the Knight of Wands. Enough of this. I'm going to leave certain things behind that my subconscious can release, and I can release. Lesson learned, moving on. And this is the wisdom we're moving on with. Sometimes whatever comes beneath is what's enabling the future, right? It's not unlike, I've been recognizing recently that it's not unlike the Celtic cross, but it's just my own thing that I've been doing. Yeah, Kona. What's going to come up underneath the 2 of Pentacles? Judgment. See, it's all perspective, and it's all in how you handle things. Do you handle things with integrity, with grace, or are you petty and immature and unwilling to let go? If our minds are able to create our reality, well then. Or it could be the former. It could be moving on with the wisdom gained rather than being stuck in the tent, worrying about shit we don't even need to worry about anymore, because balance Everything about nature at this time is trying to balance. Very interesting sounds there. Probably the light, but interesting timing nonetheless. In Final Fantasy games, that's the music that tends to play when you finish the fight, the battle's done. Victory. This is resurrection. This is karmic balance and resurrection, rebirth, evolution. New tier. What's going to come up underneath the Hierophant? Five, 6, 7. I was like, where's the 8? But we already have the 8 with the nectar. It's 58, right? Whether they realize it or not, people are definitely going. Whoa, what was that sound? People are definitely going, to notice you. There's an element to you now with this rebirth of sorts. Rebirth of sorts. Interesting wording. Because you're being true to yourself now, not people pleasing, not jumping through hoops. And some people think they're special enough to set those hoops on fire. Some people are trying so hard to judge everyone else first so that they can skip being judged themselves. Either way, who wants to live a hollow existence, right? What's going to come up underneath the Knight of Wands? The Hanged Man. And there we go. The differences, right? Between just simply worrying and fearing the future and fearing your own skills and capabilities, being unable to trust yourself, unable to give in like it's anime and just enjoy the process, the journey. Choosing to alchemize and turn it into a moment of enlightenment. We've seen the 8 of Swords a lot in the past, and not that long ago. And there's something I always point out about them that I also consider with the Hanged Man. We can't see their hands. What if this Hanged Man has been able to get themselves out of this situation the whole time? But they knew that this was a particular moment. And rather than worry, rather than fear like they used to, they chose the balance of wisdom. They chose to look at themselves and how they got into this moment in the first place, how everything led us to here. This is a timeless reading, so, whenever. What's the epilogue? Boosh. We have that masculine. We have that feminine. we have that singularity all represented. This is a new beginning. And it's not something to fear. Just don't be too hasty, right? Don't forget the things that you've learned that work for you, that do make your soul purr, right? Don't forget that you don't have to be perfect. You may make more mistakes. And life can still be unlike anything you've ever experienced before, because we're always moving forward. And you have the clarity and the mind capable of seeing through all of the illusions that try to dictate our lives. This moment, this, whether it's an in-between, whether it's the threshold or the initiation, whatever this moment of regeneration and resurrection has been, it has really helped with our minds and our clarity and our passions, our heart and souls. Everything being able to truly work in concert together. The Hierophant is right up there with the High Priestess. This is still everything. We still have the Pentacles. There's no cups. But we began with the nectar, so it's covered. Don't worry. What's at the bottom? What's the main gist? Holy cow pie, Batman. We have those pillars. And she's actually holding scales. And we have two of the cards in the tarot where the swords are going straight up. Balance is being restored. Whatever is coming, you can handle it with grace. You can choose to learn from it. You can have yourself a moment where you call bullshit. And you can still move on. You're still human. You're still alive. And that can be incredible. It's meant to be incredible. So much balance has been like these cards. This is not our first time seeing cards like this together. But I'm really digging having the Hierophant and the Hanged Man and Justice and Judgment here to balance things out. This queen is very capable and clear and honest, but also open, able to flow, able to have their own thoughts and ideas and passions, and to coexist without wavering anymore. What are the extra notes to this reading? I am the I in team. So I feel like all too often people have another barrier of separation that they work through, breaking down, hopefully. And that is the barrier between beings like guardian angels, guardians, spirit guides, your ancestors, loved ones who have passed on. The skills of all of those clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, right? That's some of them. You, if this is a team, you're the quarterback, fam. You're the quarterback. You're the MVP every season. So the separation anxiety that we as humans all too often tend to let run the show, it's a misunderstanding. The nectar is within you at all times. You are always capable of healing yourself. You never needed those wings to fly. You have no one else to battle. The battle's done. Honesty doesn't have to be cruel, and passions, creativities, and courage, they all can pay the bills. There's that 2020 hindsight that I commented on at some point. Was it this reading or the one I was filming before? These are lyrics from, I want to say, the chorus to a Britney Spears song called Out From Under. It's from the album Circus, a very particular album. I don't want to dream about all the things that never were. And maybe I can live without when I'm out from under. Certain aspects of the healing process can only happen in the aftermath. Not while the tower walls are crumbling. As we dive into our unknown outcomes. And having faith in ourselves and our abilities to live and be live in our true, whatever. You know what I mean? Like whatever that is for you. I'm not going to sit here and try to come up with words for it. That's not my place. My place is to encourage the heck out of you. That's what I do. What's on the bottom of this deck? Aries. Do you think Aries is represented in this reading? Oh. They can seem super courageous and know exactly what the heck they're doing, but Aries are human too. They have fears they need to work through. Their own diagnoses, their own lives. I like to say that there are two different types of Aries. Maybe you can relate to this. There's Aries, the go-getters. Sure, they can get angry, but it's usually, here and then we're moving on already, thankfully. But then there are those other Aries, the negative Aries, where everything is negative. Everything's wrong. There is no silver lining. Just darkness. Certain things we're able to understand in the aftermath better than ever because of that 2020 hindsight perspective. Perspectives can change with a rear view. So remember that you are the go-getter in your life. Maybe you need to be the Aries in your life at this time. Maybe that's what the reminder is. If you're not Aries yourself, or you're rising, or you're boom. My mother is an Aries, and she can be very, very negative. Either way, I don't consider this a moment wasted. You're doing the thing. You're doing what you need to be doing. And no one else gets to decide that, okay? This is your reminder. This is your encouragement. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Oh, man, look at that. And always remember that I love you.